Dante Basco himself.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Some people know me as Rufio from Hook. Some people know me as Jake Long, the American Dragon. Some people know me as Ben Mercado from the movie The Debut. And then, of course, a gang of people know me as Prince Zuko from the Fire Nation. What's up, PSU? I'm Dante Basco. I'm happy to be here with you guys tonight, celebrating tonight this event. I can't pronounce the name correct, and I'm so nervous when I say it. Kaibigan. For all the titos and titas out there, I apologize. My Tagalog is very bad. It's konti lang. But it's my first time in Portland, and I'm having an amazing time. I'm impressed with all this talent that's been on the stage tonight. So give a round of applause for all the talent that's been here so far. And I'm here to, celebrate us tonight. We're Filipino Americans. And I know there's a great tragedy going on in the Philippines. It's great that we can be here tonight to really raise money and awareness for that, but also to celebrate who we are. And I came out here tonight to really discuss my career and really talk about what that means for us as a community. A lot of people don't know, but I started acting. I look around the room, I've been acting for longer than most of the people in this room have been alive.
Look good!
Thank you very much. I've been acting for 27 years. Which is crazy, right? And the thing about that is I started at the ground level in the entertainment industry. Do you guys, who knows what the ground level in the entertainment industry is? Anybody? Not even commercials, man. Me and my brother started as break dancers in the street. In the streets of San Francisco. Telegraph Avenue, Pier 39, with our hat out, and just collecting coins, breakdancing in the 80s. And that's how we started. And going from that to making movies in Hollywood has been, over the last 27 years, has been quite a journey. And how I look at it, especially in a night like tonight, I look at it on us being Phil-Ams and what that means. First, I go back to where we've been. When I first got to Los Angeles, this is 85, and I started going to auditions, and people would ask me, I go in for a role, right, and the cast director would ask, what are you? And I'm like, I'm Filipino. And they're like, what is that? Yeah. Like, seriously, 85. No one really understands what a Filipino is, let alone there's no roles for Filipinos, right? So the second question, after they would go, is, what is that? I would go, well, what's the role? And they're like, well, this role is Chinese. And I go, well, my grandmother on my dad's side, she's like part Chinese. I'm like, oh. I'll go to another audition, and they'll be like, I'm like, what's the role? And they're like, oh, this role's Mexican. And I'm like, Filipinos, we're part Spanish. So I'm right there like, yeah. I'm like, what's this role? Well, this role is Puerto Rican. Filipinos and Puerto Ricans, we're from the islands. It's like so much things that Filipinos that we are part of that it's like this really crazy thing when people ask me like, how can you, me, Dante Basco, like how were you able to survive in an industry where there was no roles for you? There was 0 Filipino roles. The first time I got to play a Filipino in Hollywood was when I did The Debut. Yeah, which is a culturally great film, amazing film, one of my favorite films, because the first time I got to play a Filipino and a Filipino American, and a lot of my family was in the film, and even just the faces I saw in the film that weren't my family were my family. I got to see my grandfather, I got to see my uncles, my aunts, my cousins as characters in the movie, and it was really special to me, and it's really, one of the problems that I feel is like that movie was over 10 years ago, and we haven't done it again, and that's part of what my goal now as a veterano actor now. I'm like the young veteran in Hollywood for a lot of the younger cats, and one of my things that I'm really going around and talking to the new generations, challenging them to make these movies and how important it is. So what does my career do? Like now, right? So now where we're at is crazy because I never really even think about what kind of impact I've had on an industry or on a community, and you really don't have this till 25 plus years down the line. And what impact you go, what kind of impact are you talking about? And I really didn't know either until things like this happen. Someone will come up to me in the streets and thank me, and I'm like, you know, man, I thank you for, you know, digging my work. He's like, no, you gotta understand, like, you're the first cool Asian kid I saw on TV or films ever. And I'm like, that's crazy, right? And I never thought of it that way. And this is like 90s stuff. Or like a girl will come up to me and be like, yo, you're the reason why I date Asian guys. And I'm like, yo. Or like a guy, like a Filipino guy will come up to me and he's like, man, Dante, I really gotta thank you because, you know, I'm in an interracial marriage. I'm like, right? He goes, and growing up, my wife had such the crush on you growing up that I know you're one of the reasons why she married me. And like that kind of stuff is crazy. I'm like, you're welcome, man. I'm glad to help you out there. But that kind of stuff has become very important to who we are as Asian Americans today, as Filipino Americans today. Being able, my career having a little bit of scope to help widen the awareness of what the possibilities of what it means to be Asian American, what it means to be Filipino American. And of course, we all know that we're everything. Like every culture, like African Americans are, like Latino Americans are, like Caucasian Americans are. There's everything. We're not just the stereotypes of what people put it in. And for my career to be just a part of that opening a little wider is something I've been kind of fortunate and blessed to be a part of. That brings me to where we're going. So, movies like Hook, and obviously you guys know Avatar: The Last Airbender. So, yeah, which is an amazing phenomenon that happened, and I got to work with an actor named Mako. Do you guys know Mako? Oh yeah! Yeah, so Mako played my uncle Ira, and he filled me with a lot of wisdom. But in my whole life and my career, Mako has filled me with wisdom. Mako has played my uncle or my father, I think 3 or 4 times in my career, and he's always been that mentoring figure to me. But Mako, for those of you who don't know his whole career, Mako's one of the prolific Asian American artists ever. He was nominated for an Oscar in the 70s for a movie called Sand Pebbles with Steve McQueen. He started the longest running Asian American theater that still is alive today in Los Angeles called East West Players, where actually I've been able to do a bunch of plays and even write some plays. And so he's created this whole ecosystem for Asian Americans for the next generation within the theater scene. And he's been a big influence over me. Now when he passed away, it's very sad, you know, during the last season of Avatar. And the crazy thing, Mako, like Uncle Iro, he's constantly teaching me things, you know? And when he passed away, and when I realized he's played my uncle for so many times, or my father so many times in my career, and I kind of put him up on a pedestal as one of these really impactful figures in Asian America, and so does Hollywood, so does a lot of people. And then I realized, like, I'm a part of that lineage, you know? And what he taught me in his passing is that I have to kind of it's like my turn to kind of keep inspiring the next generation to really create what's going on next. Part of what that happened was me creating a film company called Kinetic Films, and we're based out of Honolulu, and we are creating, our first film we dropped was a kid named Kev Jumba. You guys know Kev Jumba? Yeah. So me and Kev did a movie together called Hang Loose, and I just wrote a movie for another kid named AJ Raphael. You know AJ Raphael? Yeah, you know AJ Raphael. So he has this movie Red Roses that we wrote that we're going to be going to production next year. And he taught me that it's time for our generation, my generation, to really look out for the next generation and start creating. Because where we are now as a community, and especially Filipino Americans, is we're at the highest profile that we've ever been on the planet Earth. Now, with things like my career, things like the success of Manny Pacquiao, the success of Bruno Mars, the success of the Black Eyed Peas. Now, being Filipino and knowing what Filipino is amazing. It's like a very kind of cool, it's like this cool thing. Asian America, it's our time right now for Asian Americans as a whole, but also as Filipino Americans and as Filipinos. When I say it's the highest profile we've had as a community ever, that's a big thing. That means since in the history of America, knowing what a Filipino is the highest that we've ever been since the history of America. That's where we're at. And what that means is it's time, it's our time, it's your time. I've been speaking at colleges a lot lately because it's really your generation's time. It's your time to create the artists, to create the movement. We're in the midst of creating in Hollywood, and the movement isn't just making movies, but it's making movies, it's making music, it's the dance, it's the art, it's the literature. It's our time to really carve out our voice in America and really tell our stories and let everyone know and share that we are just as much as part of the American fabric as Caucasian America, as African America, as Latino America, Asian America. We're here and we're a vital part of this. And so I'm just out here today to celebrate our culture and to reinforce and let everybody know, like, this is our time, you know? Thank you so much. I'm so excited to see all the work we're about to do in the next few years. And I'm gonna be back, but enjoy some more of the performances, and I'll be back to do some stuff for you. All right, thank you guys so much.